Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to Prrrr. The pundits are seated. Charlie, the playoffs. The playoffs. Today we have a different setup. If you're wondering why this is here, I did take you go back to JHS, the SHS, draw and label the part. I beg what you did see. It be broom. Felix, what will they carry broom do?
If it takes clean the room, you take brush there,
Hey, no be the answer they said. I beg. I know they said that. Teddy, what is a brush or a broom used for?
Me the time they go school, they take sweep.
Correct. Straight point. Charlie, that's the main purpose of the broom. Sweep any game 4, Lakers versus Nuggets. All Nikola Jokic had to do was hold the broom and sweep them. So yeah, that is the reason why the broom is here. The Denver Nuggets have swept the Los Angeles Lakers in game 4. The Crypto Arena, Charlie, then do the bazaar. But it was a very close game. LeBron James tried his best. Now, Teddy, we knew coming into the series that the Denver Nuggets were so good, but we didn't expect the sweep. Yeah. What do you think went wrong for the Lakers?
For one, it's LeBron not taking charge. Because over the years, we've known LeBron to be a guy where you see him everywhere. If it's a post-up, he's there. If it's a 3-point, he's there. If it's a fadeaway, he's there. He's always everywhere. If it's a block, chase down, he's always there. But then in this series, it was like other players were getting the limelight and LeBron wasn't shining. So it was like LeBron had to carry the team. He needed to carry the team. But then this whole playoffs, LeBron haven't been able to.
By in game 4, he stepped up.
How can you hit up in game 4? We don't need you in game 4. Hit up when we needed you in game 1. That's when we needed LeBron. And secondly, Coach Malone is one of the most bravest coaches I've seen. Because being able to run all your plays around a center, almost 90% of your plays around the center is one of the most bravest things, because it doesn't happen. Because it's almost run around maybe your power forwards, maybe your small guards. Yes, but then around your center, who you need him to be under the rim to catch rebounds or put backs. But then Coach Malone really did well in his adjustment, and I felt like he already knew this going into this match that he win, because Lakers, Charlie, them are players. Be mediocre players. They won't be able, even if they survive to go to the finals, they won't be able to win it. But then, Charlie, it happens. They've been swept.
Well, they have been swept. LeBron James has been swept 3 times in his career. 2018 against the Warriors, 2007 against the San Antonio Spurs, and in 2023 against Nikola Jokic and the Denver Nuggets. Even before the game started, it felt like, the Nuggets were on the road. We're going to win at Crypto Arena. But LeBron put up such a performance that if I told you LeBron was going to drop 40 points in game 4, you'd have told me, the Lakers were going to get a win.
I mean, what happened? This is Bron. Bron always pulls up when he's needed the most. And I totally disagree with Teddy that Bron had to block shots. This dude is almost 40, fam.
No, I'm talking about like before, like in his career coming up.
Yeah, but I feel you. I'm saying that he's old now. He's almost 40. And I feel like now they've passed the baton to Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is the one who's supposed to lead this team. I mean, he has done exceptionally well. But again, you can't rule out the Nuggets and what they've done, their achievements in this series. They've played a 2-man game with Jamal Murray and Jokic. Like you said, Jokic is the one making all the plays, because he's like a guard. He's like a big guard. I don't think we've seen anybody like him like that in the league. And again, too, offensively, they were able to target specific players on who they could run their offense on, like D'Angelo Russell. He was terrible. He was
totally off.
He was terrible at defense, and they didn't have any answer for Jamal Murray. Yeah. Jamal Murray was everywhere, and they didn't have
32 in the series.
They didn't have anybody to guard Jamal Murray. Schroeder couldn't guard Murray. Reeves couldn't guard Murray, and D'Angelo Russell, of course, you know, go fi guard me safe. So, fam, I mean, like I said, man, they had no answer. They had no solution for him. And Jokic, 2-time MVP. And you know how the Nuggets, they have a score to settle. They've been in the finals 2 times.
That's the conference finals.
The conference finals, 2 times. And I think the first one was against the Lakers too, right, in the bubble. So I mean, they have a score to settle. And Jokic being a 2-time MVP coming into this series.
3-time, the third one he was then bust up.
Hey, but you don't win it.
You don't win them. I beg you.
We don't go with facts.
Facts. And Jokic, a 2-time MVP coming into this. And a first team in the West. Yeah. Come on, man. They deserve it.
And one thing I want to add, you see, the last time we've been talking about playing Hachimura. It looks like if you play Hachimura, it no go work. Because if you are putting Hachimura on Jokic and then AD is playing the shadow defender, even if he post up, he's not scoring, he's passing. Because when he's posting, he draws another defender to him, and then that opens up a shooter, and it was working. It was working. So the Hachimura thing, it looked like on paper it will work, but then Charlie, reality,
especially in the fourth quarter,
it wasn't
game
working.
3 and game 4, they played the 2-man game entirely.
Totally obliterating the whole offense.
Well, I've seen a lot of LeBron slander, but I'm here to say, Charlie, make people relax. This guy, he's 38 years old, playing almost 47 minutes in that game. Reminder, basketball, we have about 48 minutes, and he played like almost the whole game, because in the first half, without LeBron James on the court, it felt like the Lakers just couldn't score. He scored about 21 points in the first quarter, and the rest of the Lakers team had to score just 13 points. That was how huge LeBron James was. And in some parts in the third and fourth quarter, he had to guard Nikola Jokic, and you know how difficult that is. Now, in final moments, one player I have to highlight before we even move to the next topic. Aaron Gordon, he was the primary defender on LeBron James. And in game 4, it looked like, okay, LeBron was having his way with him. But in the clutch moments, the final possession to give Lakers the equalizer to be able to go into overtime, Aaron Gordon stepped up, and he stepped up really, really huge, clamping up on the King LeBron James, who is going home now. Now, after the game, we got into the press conference. Of course, they'll have to ask the players some questions and everything, and that'll be where Charlie, your man, he make emotional small. They asked him what happened in game 4, and then what does he see for the Lakers going forward. And he was like, I've got a lot of things to think about. Just for me personally going forward with the game of basketball, I've got a lot to think about. So he brought up the retirement things and everything. Now, Felix, we know say your man chopped 38, but he's also said somewhere that he wants to play with Bronny. What do you make of all this?
Charlie Brown, this was like a media strategy. You then sweep you 4-0 for finals. So I mean, he knew the narrative. He knew what was going to like go on the media. So he just had to like come out and like put a different narrative out and say that he's thinking about retirement, so that they can like they can just move the whole agenda from him being swept to him retiring. But I don't think Bron is going to. Bron is never going to retire. He's not going to retire this season or next season. He's not going to retire at the end of this postseason or 2023 or 2024. He's going to, like he said, he's going to wait for Bronny to come to the league. And again, so talking about Bron's future, let's not forget, Bron has he has an exceptional basketball IQ. And any team Bron joins, automatically they qualify or they're eligible for a contender, for a contender in the league. So I think that if he still stays with the Lakers, I know that they are going to make some trades, some acquisitions, and still they're going to be they're still going to be a top contender in the league. And again, to his impact, Bron's impact on the teams, Bron's impact in like where he goes to is quite high. I don't think he's going to retire soon. I think he's going to stay.
Teddy, LeBron is approaching Charlie father time. We know he's been good for majority of his career, playing 20 years in the league, and now he brings this up. Was it a surprise for you?
It wasn't a surprise. Like he said, it was a strategy. You see, the game of basketball and any other sports, the sports analysts, they are like savages. They jump onto a news and go to another news. So you see, when a news trends for a while and another one comes, they jump on
where
it.
The narrative
yes. So Bron knew this. So in a sense, he knew that in this press conference, people were going to ask him why he got swept. What's the next move? So he just chipped in this to turn their mind off. And you see, even after talking about retiring, the narrative just pushed to Jokic winning the whole thing. So now people have forgotten about it. So I think that was a very, very strategic thing he did. But then the thing is, he will retire. But the thing is, what will make him actually like think about it is if he stays at Lakers for long, because I think he should leave Lakers and maybe join Steph Curry or something.
Hey, Charlie, we know they like. They go squad the league.
Talking about leaving Lakers, I think he's going to stay because last year Bron signed a contract with the Lakers, a 97.1 million contract extension just last year in August, and he has like a player option in the final year, and I don't think he's going to leave at all.
And I think maybe he'll try to force the Lakers' hands to maybe acquire Bronny.
No, it's not feasible.
It can be possible.
Do the Lakers have the draft picks enough
to
get that? That is the problem. Now, LeBron James is very controversial. Even after that question, he was like, well, I don't know. When I still feel like I'm better than 90% of the players left in the NBA today, if not 90%, why would I walk away now? So LeBron still feels like he's one of the best players out there. But we've known LeBron for almost the whole 20 years in the league, being the best player in the league, but maybe facing Nikola Jokic just maybe changes his mind a bit about him being the best player in the league. Because Nikola Jokic is around now. Now shifting the narrative to, speaking of Nikola Jokic, he just won the Western Conference Finals MVP, the Magic Johnson Western Conference Finals MVP. So yeah, he's really, really good. And his running mates, Jamal Murray, who averaged 32 points in the series. Now moving away from that, Jamal Murray is not even the best player on that team. We know with the NBA, star players are really, really crucial, and every star player almost always has a running mate. If you take the Boston Celtics, you've got Jaylen Brown, you've got Jason Tatum. If you take the Los Angeles Clippers, you've got Kawhi Leonard, you've got Paul George. The Lakers that we are just speaking of, LeBron James, Anthony Davis. Now I want to come to Felix. In the whole of the league, who do you think is the best second star or the running mate?
Well, I mean, it's a tough question because I have like a list of second stars in the league. So Jamal Murray, like you already mentioned. Bam of the Miami Heat, Jaylen Brown of Boston Celtics. Will you guys agree with me that Kyrie Irving is a second star?
I've always been saying, he's a Robin.
Okay, Anthony Davis of the Los Angeles Lakers. Are we going to agree that Booker is a second star?
Yes.
To KD.
Yes, to KD, yes.
KD, right?
Yes.
And Paul George,
Yeah.
of Clippers, and Zach LaVine of Bulls.
Yeah.
So with this list, I think the best second star, in my opinion, in this list might be either Booker or Kyrie Irving.
So who are you picking? Booker or Kyrie?
I don't know, but
Maybe I'll leave towards Booker because now he plays good defense
yeah, on the defensive side, yeah. But yeah, I think Booker.
in the whole league. Teddy,
Booker.
who are you going
Second
for?
star.
This one would be a surprise, but then I picked Clay.
Klay Thompson.
Yes, because of the narrative.
Even though he performed terribly in the playoffs this year.
Not in the play. I'm talking about like the regular
Generally,
season, because he came off a long-term injury,
Yeah.
and then they won the championship last season.
2020.
And then this season he has made 301 threes, coming off a long-term injury. Oh,
Crazy.
Clay really deserves it, because if we know with Paul George and other players who come off long-term injuries, they are not able to adjust, and it takes a while. But then he just comes into the new season and he's dropping 301, starting from where he left off. I think it's Clay.
Well, you both being Celtics fans, I was hoping to hear of Jaylen Brown.
Oh, no,
but
no,
it
no,
seems
no,
like
no.
today they are being honest. Okay, we go take out. But for me personally, I'll have to go with Paul George, because if you look at all the names of the players he mentioned,
They are biased.
they are really good on offense. But when it comes to defense, it's just only a few that can really, in fact, contest with Paul George. He's a two-way player for a reason. Playing with Kawhi Leonard, you can argue even Paul George sometimes is the best player on the team. So for me, Paul George is the best second star in the league for
Bro.
me.
But
Now,
how many matches has he played?
No,
for him to be the
Paul
best?
George is not even top 3. He's not top 3.
This is being biased because
Yeah, talking about two-way players. Jaylen Brown is a two-way player.
but is he better than Paul George? That is the question.
Currently, he's better than
Jaylen Brown.
currently he's better than
Jaylen
Paul
Brown.
George.
Jaylen Brown is a second. He's in a second All NBA team this year.
Well,
What are you saying?
You could say that fine, but,
No.
but when the big moments,
What's
moments
big?
show up,
What's the
in
big
the
moment?
playoffs this year,
Fam.
we've seen what Jaylen Brown.
What's the big moment? Tell me.
The playoffs.
So what has Paul George done? What has Paul
He's
George done?
taking the Clippers with Kawhi injured to the West Finals.
Has he been to the finals?
He hasn't been to the finals.
Fam, don't
No,
put him in there.
With his star player injured.
Which star player injured?
Kawhi was injured in 2022.
No,
Please.
you're talking about big moments. He hasn't had that big moment.
Okay,
to show you.
okay, we get it. With a star player injured, he was in OKC with Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
What did they do,
Nothing.
bro? Like
The
facts,
Paul George convo, we go come back to
No.
him. Now, speaking of the Boston Celtics, we almost brought the broom for them too. They were on the verge of getting swept, but hey, Jason Tatum step up at the Miami Heat, them at home way. At least then they try get game 4. We'll be going back to the TD Garden to see if the Celtics can do something that has never been done. Come back down from 0-3. Now, Felix, your Celtics went into that game, and then we saw Jaylen Brown and Marcus Smart saying, "Don't let us win one game." Hey, now you win one game. We could start the shake.
No shake, fam. No shake. No shake. I mean, the boys picked in the second half. We outscored the Heat by 66 to 43 points in the second half, and you could tell that most of Jason Tatum's point came in the second half. He had over 20 points in the second half. So I mean, definitely the boys picked in the second half. But going into the game, I think the adjustments that Joe did, I think that was always beneficial because he played the same starting lineup, as the game 3 lineup. He started Derek White.
And he was huge.
He was huge. On the defense, on the offense. Derek White started with like 2-3 pointers in the first quarter. So, I mean, he helped us so much. And Jaylen Brown still has to get his steals.
Yeah,
you know,
he's struggling offensively.
He's still struggling. But I think that's the thing. When they're able, and I think again too, they were able to move the ball so well this time. You know, creating plays.
But still a lot of turnovers.
I mean, the turnovers comes from a lot from Jason Tatum, to be honest. But they were able to move the ball a lot this time. Nobody was trying to make a lot of tough shots. And even if like the shots were contested, they were able to find the open guy, pass the ball, and this time it worked well.
Now we've spoken of the Boston Celtics being one of the deepest teams in the league, but Malcolm Brogdon hasn't really been there in this series. Maybe could that be the reason why you guys are in this hole?
Malcolm Brogdon has been like a very big factor for us coming into this series, coming to this
man of the
playoffs, because he's like our go-to guy on our second team. When he comes and maybe we are down, he just scores some threes for us, and then we move up.
Crucial.
And then Jaylen Brown, like he said, Jaylen Brown has to step up, because you can't be scoring 20 less points and think we are going to win. But in my opinion, Celtics, we are going to get swept. This was only like the heat of the moment, like to take off the embarrassment and of being swept. So after this, the next match we are going to lose. But Charlie, superb, Charlie. We see you next year.
The Celtics fans, we like them. I feel more die. Now, finally, before we leave, we have to give the flowers to Carmelo Anthony, who just announced his retirement from the NBA. He's surely a first ballot Hall of Famer. I don't think there's any debate about that. Now, speaking of Carmelo Anthony, he played in the league for 6 teams. He was drafted in 2003 to the Denver Nuggets, where he could have won Rookie of the Year. But of course, LeBron James was there. So he played on the Nuggets, the Knicks, the Thunder, the Rockets, the Blazers, and finally ended it with the Los Angeles Lakers. Within that span, he was a 3-time Olympic gold medalist, 10-time NBA All-Star, 6 All-NBA selections, and he had the ninth most points all time. So what we just said, that LeBron is the greatest scorer of all time, being number 1. Carmelo Anthony was number 9. Now, Felix, what were your favorite moments from Carmelo's?
Shouts to Melo, though. Shouts to Melo. You know, Melo is so efficient. He's an elite scorer. Nobody can guard Melo. I've not seen it before. I've never seen it. You know, nobody in the league.
Like he's just an offensive savant.
He's a scorer. I mean, he doesn't care about rebounds. He doesn't care about assisting the ball. He just wants to score. And like you rightfully said, he's a ninth all-time leader scorer in the league. And you know, I'm not too happy about the retirement, but it seems that no team wants him in the league. So I mean, it's just right for him to retire. And I think he has done incredibly well. And like you said, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
Charlie, the Gen Z's way, if we ask you people, say, if you hear Melo, who you hear of where you put the mention of Melo, I beg. This be the OG Melo. Carmelo Anthony, what were your favorite moments?
So, Melo came into the league and he was drafted with LeBron, Wade, and then Bosh. And then in that year, or in that span, Spurs was hot. Yeah. They were winning. So, coming into a league where Spurs is hot, you have LeBron, you have Wade, and then Wade and Bosh came together. LeBron came to join them, and then they took off. So entering such a league with Spurs being hot, with LeBron being hot, with Wade and Bosh being hot, and then you also thriving and also scoring, I think it's amazing, because it's not like today's NBA where anyone or any person can just come in and just be hot and be scoring. But then he had top rivalries, but then he was still scoring. That's how good he was.
Just to add to what Teddy said, I mean, when his first year in the league, he was in the playoffs in the West. You know, that's how tough Melo was. And again, talking about the rookie of the year with Braun, I think it was highly contested. It was highly contested. For me, in my opinion, I think that Melo
should have taken it.
But, you know.
Well, that is how we wrap up things today. Today I did this with Teddy and Felix, and of course our guest, the sweeper. So I'll catch us same time where we might be speaking of the Celtics being out of the playoffs, or we might be previewing the NBA finals between the Nuggets and the Miami Heat. We don't know what is going to happen, but we are surely going to bring you all that. All we want to say is thank you, Melo, for all those memories. Stay Melo.